Hey guys, welcome to the last Paranormal Monday. I am excited, but I'm not excited about this video. This is the story of the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me. So this story is one I have never shared before. I have shared it with one person, and we didn't remain friends for very long after I told her this story. I have never even told Shayna this story, so I apologize, Shayna, that you're hearing this for the first time on my YouTube channel, but it's a story that I have never liked to talk about, and it's very hard to tell people because people who weren't there in the moment don't understand how unbelievably terrifying and life-changing it was for me. So in early 2011, I was going through some very personal stuff. There was something really big going on in my life that I was trying to deal with, and it was disrupting a lot of my life. I plan to tell you about this. I plan to tell you all about this eventually. But one thing I believe is that when your spirit is weak, when you are broken down, and you're still letting spiritual stuff in, because at this time I was still very heavily into paranormal and ghosts and trying to do lockdowns and trying to contact what was out there. And I believe when you're into that, in deep with that stuff, but you emotionally are very broken, you're very susceptible, you're very weak, and spirits tend to pick up on that and tend to use that. So I want to say one night in January 2011, it had been a very rough couple months, and it was not getting any better. And one night I was sleeping, and I was sleeping soundly. I wasn't dreaming. I couldn't tell you what woke me up. But my bedroom door was here, and my bed was right there. Yeah, right there. So the head of my bed was right next to my door. And out of a deep sleep, I woke up. I opened my eyes. I wasn't jolted awake or anything like that. I just remember I opened my eyes, and I was laying on my side facing the door and the opposite wall. And there, and the only way I can describe this is floating parallel to my bed was this thing. I wouldn't call it a ghost. I would call it maybe an entity, a being, a thing. And in moments like that, time slows down. But I'm sure it took a matter of seconds, maybe even a second. But I remember its eyes. It was looking at me. It was watching me sleep. And its eyes were bright, big and bright, almost like moons. They glowed. And that's mostly all I could see. I could tell it was a figure. And I remember its hair was wild and kind of floating around it. And I remember staring into its eyes for a split second before I panicked. And I rolled over and faced the wall. Now that I think about it, I guess that's just a instinct, is to turn your back on it, to get away from it. But I remember rolling over and facing the wall, and all I could think was, in Jesus' name, I leave, please leave. And because I grew up in a Christian family, and even though at that point in my life, I wasn't a very devout Christian because of the stuff that was going on in my life. I was having kind of a crisis of faith. That's all I could think to do was just pray in Jesus' name. And I remember hearing something hitting my closed door, like it went through my door or something. But I remember hearing it hit my door. And my room was back to normal. Like I felt like it wasn't there anymore. And I'll never forget the feeling of my heart. Like I thought I was going to have a heart attack because it was beating so fast and so hard, and I was having trouble breathing because I was panicking. And I remember just laying there begging, please God, just let it go away. Please just let it be gone. Don't let it come back. And eventually, to this day, I can't even tell you where I found the strength to do this. I rolled over and I turned my lamp on beside my bed. And I did not sleep the rest of the night, obviously. And it was about 3 in the morning, which that is something I have noticed in my life. And that is a lot to do more with like evil spirits, is they tend to be more active, and stuff like that tends to happen around 3 in the morning. It's supposedly something to do with making fun of the fact that Jesus died on the cross at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That supposedly evil spirits are more active around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've noticed that a lot in my life. I remember one instance where I was in high school and I scared the crap out of my mom because I've always been an all-nighter person. I've always been a night owl. And I remember one night in high school, I was up at around 3 in the morning and I smelled smoke. Like, not quite smoke, like sulfuric smoke. And I went around the house looking for where it might be coming from. I couldn't find anything. And I remember telling my mom that, and she freaked out because, you know, she had heard that if you smell sulfuric smoke and stuff like that, that can be a sign of demonic stuff. And so the 3 a.m. stuff I'm very used to. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me at 3 a.m. and over my life, and this was just another instance of that, being awoken to find this thing watching me while I slept. And that was probably one of the most traumatic things to happen to me, because it came at a point where something else very traumatic was going on, and so it changed my life. If you look at pictures of me after that point in 2011, I was anorexic, because after that happened and with everything else going on, I couldn't sleep. I was lucky if I slept 3 hours a night. And usually I tried to, because back then I was working a lot of shifts where I could stay up really late and sleep into the day, because I didn't have to be at work until 1 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon. And so I would try and stay up all night and sleep during the day, at least like 3 hours during the day. And yeah, that started me down a very dark path, because I was anorexic. Yeah, I ate 44 ounces of mashed up fruit, like smoothies, a day. And that was it for a good, probably solid 4 or 5 months. And I mean, obviously there was other stuff going on, but this paranormal experience just fueled that fire that really set my life on this very dark track. And yeah, it was not good. So that is the tale of the most terrifying thing that's ever happened to me paranormal wise. I can't even begin to explain to you what it could have been or why it happened, but I'll never forget it. And yeah, it definitely changed my life. Alright guys, that is it for Paranormal Mondays. Yay! I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later.